And we're working with this middle area today. Last class, we did a lot of twists around this area, working on digestion as well. And today we're going to lengthen the spine. We're going to do a lot of traction, decompress the spine. And we're going to work with lunges and hip stuff, pelvic alignment. Just finding your feet. And start to inhale, bring your arms up to your place. And exhale, bring your arms down. If you like, bend your knees. And look down at your feet. Inhale, up at the sides, getting into the upper back, neck and shoulders, and maybe looking up a little bit. And exhale, coming down, bend the knees over second toes, round forward. Keep this going your own timing. Pausing between inhale and exhale. Arching up as you inhale, exhale, rounding forward, flossing through the upper back, neck and shoulders, lower back, feel the feet. Inhale, lifting, arching up, nodding the head up as you inhale and down as you exhale, and find that integrated movement between the upper and lower back. As you exhale, find the feet. As you inhale, find the sky. Pause between inhale and exhale. Start to exhale before you start to move, engaging pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. As you inhale, you can expand just the belly or inhale into the upper chest, lower chest, full belly expands. Inhale, top to bottom. And exhale, bottom to top. Bring your hands to your heart in namaste, or you can have another gesture that feels good for you. Inhale, arms at the side. Visualize the sun expanding all directions around you. Exhale, bend the knees and make an Om. Gather up that light into the heart. Inhale, arms at the sides. Feel the rays of light all directions. Exhale, gather it up to the center. Inhale. Inhale, expand. Exhale, center. Last time. rest. Inhale, bringing your arms up, palms together, or interlock the fingers, or fold, holding opposite elbows. And exhale, go side to side. Focus on the lower back by sticking the hip out a bit. As you do that, exhale, inhale, center, exhale, side. Try to keep your shoulders aligned. So if you're a little tighter on one part of your back, upper or lower back, you'll tend to rotate forward. So try to keep that alignment from the hip to the shoulder, to the elbows, to the wrists, the hands. And sticking the hip really out to the side. You can do this with the feet apart or together. Just notice the difference in terms of the angle you get. You might prefer it one way or the other. You probably notice one side a bit tighter than the other. Stay on the side that's a little easier for you to begin with. If it's comfortable staying there, and just intensify the stretch. If you like, extend the top arm a bit more. Focus on the lower back. You might be feeling it in the upper back. And then switching sides through an inhale and exhale movement. Inhale, center. Exhale, coming down through to the heart. Place one hand at the heart, the other at the belly. And breathe here. Can you connect your heart to your power center at the belly button through the breath? Can you inhale into the heart and then the belly? And exhale, draw the belly in and feel the heart to the chest fall. This is linking the lower back with the upper back. Maybe counting the breath, inhale to 4 to 8 seconds, pause, exhale the same. Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. And release. So we're going to move into some warriors. So you're going to bring one foot forward and the other back to comfort. You can start on your easier side if you like. Just to use that as a warm-up. Have the knee bending over the ankle, around the second toe, knee not going beyond. Find that the back foot just turning out to comfort for the knee and hip. keeping that little toe side down. And just gonna let someone in who's trying to get in. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're gonna lunge forward, bending the front knee. I'll show this side so you can see it a bit better. So you're bending the front knee. You're gonna bring the arms long. That's your inhale, and exhale, release. Just start with that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. If that's feeling comfortable, you're going to take it up a notch. Inhale. And you're going to interlock the fingers and lengthen the spine as much as you can. And exhale, release. Keep this going your own timing. Now, if you want to make it harder still, you can do a breath or two in the position. And as you exhale, really draw the belly in. And inhale, try to breathe into the chest and then the belly. And release. And stepping back if you can, and switching sides. So inhale, extend. And when you do this, bring your hands far away from you. Stretch the whole spine, two sides of the spine, and exhale, release. And if that's feeling comfortable after repeating 3 to 4 times, stay in the position and interlock the fingers. And exhale, release. Do that around 3 times. And if you like, adding that stay, holding the position, and breathing here. And exhale, release. Come back. Find your samsthiti. Just take a rest. Notice if you feel a little taller, having lengthened the spine. Notice your breath. Is there any tightness in your breath anywhere, in your chest, in your gut? Just notice that, and you'll just notice it shift through the practice. All right, let's do our first forward bend to counter that. So inhale, bringing your arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Now, if you bring your arms in line with your ears as you inhale up, this is very strengthening. If it's too much for you, exhale, samastiti. We'll just start with this. Then bring your arms side when you come up, which is much easier, less weight. In your pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, and you actually want to bend from the waist, bend your knees, and you're rounding the back. So you're not hinging from the hips, you're actually bending from the waist. Then inhale, now you're going to hinge from the hips. This is a back arch, arms in line with the ears, maybe straightening the legs, and now you're hinging from the hips as you come up. This is a long spine coming up. And exhale, starting position. So it's a little bit different than what's normally taught in the West. If you do this with great attention to the core, it is very safe. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, pelvic floor draws in. Lower belly. Belly button in. You're rounding the spine. You're bending the knees. Round the lower back. Let it decompress. Now inhale, move the arms in line with the ears. And you're going to arch the spine now. You're going to hinge from the hips. You're in a back arch now. So your arms are in line with the ears as you come up. And exhale, starting position. So try to feel that difference. I'm just going to show that to you if you could just watch for a minute. So when you're coming up, I'm arching the spine. So this is a back arch. When you're coming down, you're rounding the spine. So these are the two movements. The exhale is the contraction. The inhale is the lengthening, extension. So that in your body. It's really important for back health to be able to do both these things, to extend and to contract. The back wants to do both of those. Inhale, coming up. So you could spend a whole class just working on Uttanasana. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, bending from the waist, bend the knees to protect the back. Maybe straightening the legs at the bottom. Once you have your belly on your thighs, you can draw the rib cage forward, lengthen that way, and then inhale. Move your arms in line with your ears and arch up. And exhale, starting position. Okay, we're going to try that again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, starting position. Do this in your own time. Just keep that going. Got a message here. Okay. Now, if you want to make this tougher, we're going to stay in the forward bend. This is something I've been working on in my own practice a lot to strengthen my back. So this is one of the things I want to bring in today is this traction of the spine and also strengthening the back. So when you're in your full Uttanasana, your forward bend, I'm just going to start easy. Step one, just bring your hands up your legs, up the back of your legs to your hips. Go to Ardha Uttanasana. My thumbs are in my hip creases. And I'm looking up, I'm arching my spine, and then exhale, I slide down. So that's level one. That feels too easy. Level two, add a little weight of the arms. Arms at the sides, palms facing down, and arching up. And exhale, fold the arms at the bottom. If that feels easy, level three, fold the arms, hold opposite elbows. Inhale, arms in line with the ears. That's step one. Then come to your halfway position. And exhale, forward bend. Race car drivers in Garden Bay this morning, it sounds like, out there. I don't know if you can hear that. That's pretty funny. Okay, and then step three, arms in line with the ears. Now they're straight. My arms are straight. You can do this with one arm at a time if you like to make it a little easier. Exhale, forward bend. Make it harder still. Stay in that halfway position. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Keep your chin in for this, for safety of the neck. Exhale, stay here. You can also interlock the fingers to lengthen through the spine more. And exhale, release. So what I do is I interlock my fingers. Inhale, arms in line with the ears. Exhale, stay. Inhale, stay. Exhale, release. Now stay at the bottom and stretch it out. And let the breath just relax. Don't stress it. That's kind of like doing yoga cardio, so your heart rate will be up. Just let your heart come back to neutral, your breath. Just rest. Don't think about lengthening the breath now. Bend your knees a bit. If you like, take your rib cage and bring it up along your thighs and stretch your back a bit more. And now lazily come up, bend the knees, bring your hands to your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale, come up. Big change in blood pressure here. And these forward bends are also great anxiety busters. This is Yoga Therapy 101, forward bend for stress. Sit down regulates the nervous system. And just let your breath go back to neutral. Feel the bottoms of your feet, maybe bend your knees. Notice if you're weighting in one foot more than the other. We're going to work with the hips a bit today. We've done that before, but we're going to go back to that because the hips are also okay. So this is something we've done before. We're going to start. If you've got a chair, you can use that. I'm going to use the rail of my deck to show this to you. But you don't need a chair. You can do it with a countertop, a table, a wall, anything you want. So this is just level one, and then we're going to step it up. Okay, so you're going to bring whatever side you usually bring back first. That usually is your easy side. So just bring one side back, and it will probably be your easy side. And you're going to find a runner's lunge position. So your knee around your ankle, over your second toe, knees not going beyond your toes. And you're going to exhale. You're going to bend that back knee. And inhale, straighten. Now, if you've got knee issues, I know some of you do, you will not bend very much. Just bend a tiny bit. You don't have to bend much. And you tuck the tail under and stretch into the psoas, that hip flexor area. This area tends to grip for various reasons, including stress-related ones or trauma-related ones. You can get a lot of tightness. I know I hold my stress in my thighs, and I was reading a Ayurvedic text about a month ago, and it said one of the symptoms of vata or anxiety is quivering thighs. And I thought, oh, well, that was interesting. So I've got tight thighs, and I think it's just where I hold my stress. So it affects the lower back. So maybe you'll go down even further. You could have a block underneath you or a pillow as a landing pad. Again, you don't have to go down very far. All right, so that's quite a bit of work. We're going to switch sides. I might not take it to the step up, but a notch part. We'll see. I had something else in mind, but I seem to be doing something else. Exhale, bend the knee, as you guys know. Very spontaneous. Inhale here, exhale, bend. And just feel any tightness in the thigh, the hip flexor. And just know that this is going to help your lower back. And notice if this might be your hard side, whether you're one leg that's a little, shorter than the other can really affect the hips, and could just be a physical thing in your body, not emotional at all. And it's also very grounding. After doing that about 6 to 8 times, just finishing up, you're probably getting a little tired now. And release. Okay, so you can keep that going in any variation you like. Okay, you could do a couple on one side at a time, do one side a whole bunch of times, or you can join me in the next thing we're going to do. So this is my new exercise I've been teaching for the last 6 months, and I use this for the hips. It's also very good for the lower back. So your feet are going to be parallel. Inhale, the arms are coming up. And you're going to start with your easy side moving. Exhale, bring one foot forward and bend the back knee to where you can. Inhale, come back to your Tadasana. And exhale, bring that same foot back and release. And just keep going. Inhale, back to Tadasana. So we're moving just one foot at a time, back and forward, or you can hold the chair or the countertop. Countertops are really good, or a rail. If you got one, it's awesome. Really good prop. Now this is quite a bit of work, so we'll get warm. And I'm personally hoping this will keep me more mobile as I start to notice the effects of aging. Because one of the indicators of aging is to be able to get up and down from the floor. So I figure that this is a good. And then take a rest in your Tadasana. You might be a little tired after all that. Whew. Feel your heart rate increase. Touch your heart, touch your belly. Before we do the other side. Okay, so the other side. So inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, bringing that other foot forward, back knee bends, and release neck and shoulders. Inhale, extend. So the inhale in yoga is always an extension. Exhale is a contraction, flexion. Inhale, center. Exhale, step in front. And do this in your own timing. If I'm doing it too slowly, you can do it faster. The slower you do it, the harder. Exhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale, center. So I'm the full Tadasana in the center. Really reach up. Exhale, back. Just keep it going a few more rounds. And try to minimize momentum. So you're working harder. When you inhale, move your arms first in line with your ears. And just finishing up. After about 6 to 8 rounds, take a break. You will feel warm. Notice your feet. You might notice that if you didn't wait into one foot a few minutes ago, you're starting to feel that foot now. Your hips have probably aligned a little bit. Hand at the heart, the other at the belly, just take a rest. Feel your breath. Inhale, M. Exhale, strong. So this is the power center, the dantian, the nabi point at the belly button, manipuraka, seat of many jewels, the third chakra. It's the power center. And like the martial arts, You want to move from a place of power that starts with the heart, compassion. You don't want to start with the ego power and act from that place. You want to use your personal power in service of the heart power. So linking those two power centers together. This is something that's taken me 50 years to understand. I'm still working on it. And the body is a metaphor often of what's going on in our psychology. Sometimes there'll be weakness in the lower back when there's weakness in this power center, for example. Not always, of course. We can have accidents, we can have scoliosis, we can have all sorts of things like that, but can be. So just see if that's true for you. If there's another part of your body speaking to you, whether that's linked to something else inside of you. All right, so we're just going to do a counter. We're going to do our Utkatasana, our squat that we've been working on, and I'll do this a few different ways. We'll start nice and easy. So feet hip width apart. You're going to inhale, bring the arms to the side, and exhale, bend the knees so that they're tracking over second toes and hug a tree. And round. So I don't know what it is about Western yoga, but in Western yoga, this position you do not find. Everything is lengthened, strengthened, very like, oh, it's like a power pose. We need the softness. Inhale and open up and find your power pose. So there is science to indicate that those power pose positions actually make us feel more powerful, but we need to find this earth as well. Inhale, opening, and exhale, centering. So for me, it's like the metaphor of these beautiful sunflowers that we see at this time of year. Such strong roots, strong stems. And from that earth, you open the sunflower of the heart. And exhale, find your roots and root way down into the earth. And if you ride horses, you might feel like you're riding a horse when you do that bend. Really draw the gut in around the spine, round. You do see this in cat-cow in Western yoga, but that's about it. That's the only place I think I can notice where people actually round their back. It's a bit of a taboo. If you connect through the core, you can round your back safely and bend the knees. Take the weight of the back into the legs. Okay, so that might be your pose today. If you want to take it up a notch, you can hold onto your chair, your rail, your countertop, and see if you go down a little further. So rail is really nice, but you can just use the back of a chair. Just see if you can go a little bit further as you exhale and feel both feet. Inhale, straighten, and if you like, add the arms coming up. It's a bit more intense. You can go back to the first pose I did, if you like. This is more intense. Going down further. Some of you might go down all the way if you've got a rail, especially. Inhale up. So that's full Utkatasana. Your choice how far you go, depending on your knees, your back, your balance. Good. You can do this also on a stair rail. You can also do it by holding your friend. I know our in-person classes, we often hold each other's hands and do this. Ooh, thought I'd release my arms a little sooner. That was hard. So that was fun. And release. Okay. Take a break. We'll do one more variation of that later, perhaps. Just go back to your Tadasana and notice how you feel in your feet. Where's your weight? Your Samastiti, you're even standing. Where's your weight? Sama is balance, Stiti, standing. Notice your breath. Maybe place one hand on your heart, the other on your belly. In yoga, we have these little spurts of activity, and then we go back to Sama, to balance. In the traditional Hatha yoga practice, you'll always have a pose, a practice, and then you rest in this pose or on your back, some sort of Shavasana pose. Go back to Sama, balance. And in our lives, we also need to balance our activity with our rest. For some, including myself, that is easier said than done, but very important, as much as you can, to find that. Sometimes life throws you things and you just have to work really hard for periods, and we take vacations. The daily vacation is the yoga practice. Okay, so a little bit more strength work. We're going to work on forward bend. So we're going to decompress the spine and strengthen. We're going to do one side at a time. So if you could bring one leg forward, let me show from here, and the other foot back. And we're going to inhale, we're going to bring our arms up. You could move just one arm, opposite arm to front leg if you like, less weight. Exhale, forward bend. I want you to stretch way up and out and draw in pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, maybe bend that front knee to get the belly on the thigh. Inhale, arch the back up. Look up, Sthiti. Exhale, Parshva Uttanasana, one-sided forward bend. Inhale, coming up. If you want to strengthen the back, arms in line with the ears. Find that back arch, hinging from the hips. Exhale, release. This is also starting to stretch our hamstrings a bit more. This is another important piece for lower back health. Inhale. To make it easier, move the arm to the side or slide the leg. Another modification is come to a chair or a rail when you come forward. I'll show that in a minute. And that's good with your hamstrings being tighter. Inhale, arching up. Lengthening the spine. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, starting position. Do that a few more times. I'm just going to show it with the modification of a rail or a chair. You can do this with a countertop. It's really nice. It also works the upper back a bit more. We're going to take it up to the next level. So inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, forward bend to your place, the floor or a chair or a counter. Inhale, you're going to come halfway up. We're going to use one of our arms, opposite arm to leg. The other hand can be on the floor or on your lower back, palm up. Exhale, forward bend. Try the other arm, same arm as leg. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward. Now try both arms. If it's too much, don't use arms. or have your arms at the sides. Exhale forward. Last step, interlock the fingers. Move the arms first in line with the ears and come halfway up. Exhale forward. Sorry, one more step. We're going to stay. One or more breaths. That halfway position. This is back strengthener. And when you're ready, release and stay in your forward bend. Bend your front knee as needed to get your belly on your thigh. And just rest the breath. Don't extend the breath right now. Just rest it until the heart rate comes down. Gradually come up, bend the front knee, come up very slowly, step your hands to your thighs. Exhale, stay, and inhale, come all the way up. And step back, or you can just turn towards the center. Take a break in your samastiti. You'll probably feel that leg you just stretch quite different in that side. And then we're going to do the other side. Whatever that is for you. Parshva Uttanasana, one-sided forward bend. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, forward bend, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls, rounding the spine, bend the knee as needed to get the belly on the thighs. Inhale, if you can, arms in line with the ear. Move the arms first. Arch the spine. It's your back arch. Exhale, starting position. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, forward. Adding the sthiti. Inhale, arch up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, coming up. That's starting position. Do that one more time. And you could decide this is what you want to do throughout this part of the practice, rather than adding on the next piece. Inhale, arching up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, coming up. So starting position. We're going to add on the Ardha Uttanasana, the one-sided forward bend with the back arch halfway coming up. We're going to start with opposite arm to leg. Inhale, come halfway up. Arm along the ear. Exhale, release the arms down. Other side, same arm as leg. Exhale, release. That might be your practice. If you want to add on, both arms in line with the ears. Inhale, coming up. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. Bend the front knee as needed to release the back, the hip. Inhale, coming up, maybe interlocking the fingers. Exhale, release. And if you like staying in the position, and when you've had enough, go into your forward bend and rest. Just let the breath come back to neutral before you lengthen it. Parshva Uttanasana, one-sided forward bend. Feel that hamstring stretch, probably into the calf a little bit. Start to lengthen your exhale. And when you're ready, start to come up very slowly. Coming to your samastiti. And you probably feel quite heavy in your legs after all that. Feel your feet. Where's your weight on your feet? Is it front? Is it back? Is it in one foot or the other? See if you can play with evening that out a little bit. Make some circles. Feel all those four corners of the feet, but you can think of it four corners of the square around your 2 feet. Draw that square or that circle. Come to the center. I'm just going to do one last forward bend to close the standing practice. So we're going to do this again. I think we did this last week with crossing the ankles. So start with your easy side, probably the side you just naturally do first. And this is going to help work on one hip at a time going into the lower back. Inhale, the arms coming up to your place. They could move to the sides if that's easier. Exhale, stretching way forward. So with the palms down, you can stretch up and forward. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Uttanasana means ut is up and tana is stretch. Lengthen. Now bend at the waist and round the spine. Now, if you can't do this without getting your belly around to your thighs, do it with your hands coming to a chair. Inhale, arms in line with the ears. Find that Ardha place, that half forward bend, and then come all the way up. And exhale, starting position. I'm going to show that side. So inhale, we'll just go up and down eventually once you get this. Exhale, stretching up, way up. Now draw the belly in to bend at the waist. And when you come out of it, inhale, arms in line with the ears, arch the spine and come all the way up. And we're just going to go up and down. If you want to make this harder, you can interlock the fingers. If you want to make it easier, get rid of the arms. Just come up and down, arms going up and down the legs. Or the arms at the sides. So you can change that lever of the arms. The arms are weights for the back by bringing the arms closer to the core. And then we're going to switch sides. This might be your harder side, so be careful. Inhale, arms coming up. And just keep it going up and down any way you like that we've worked on. Your own timing, your own breath. Doing about 6 to 8 rounds. Rounding, exhale, extending, inhale. Arch that back as you inhale. bend from the waist as you exhale, drawing the belly in, draw the core in. And you might be feeling a pretty big stretch in one of your hips, moving into your lower back. And just finishing up. And coming back to neutral. And rest in samastiti before we take it down to our mats. So today we're working a lot on strengthening the back and then decompressing it. This is a little bit more heated, which is good that it's not too hot today. When you're ready, get your mat, or you can do this on a carpet. You can do it on your bed if you like. I'm so thankful it's not too hot today. Nice change. And for props, you have your belt, your blanket, pillow, any of those kinds of things we might be using. And I'm going to take off a layer because I'm getting pretty hot. You might want to put a layer on. We'll see how it goes for me. So we're going to start, if we can, in child's pose, which we haven't done in a while. We've been doing a lot of supine poses. We're going to do, angle my camera down so you can see me a bit better. Okay. Right. So this pose that doesn't work for you, just go onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. So child's pose, if you can. This is another pose in yoga where you do see people rounding the spine. And then I want you to come onto your belly. Now, as a modification to make this a little easier, you might want to put a pillow or a blanket underneath your belly. This is to make it easier, so you don't have to do this, but you can, or a blanket. And if you've got any neck discomfort, you can just fold your hands, fingers on top of each other, and put your forehead on your fingers. Now, you're going to tuck your toes under. We're just going to start really easy. So this is the beginning. As you inhale, straighten your legs. Just straighten your legs. And exhale, release. So this is the beginning. Just straighten your legs. Your toes are tucked under. Inhale, straighten. Your knees are coming off the ground. And exhale, release. You could also put a block between the thighs to make this harder. Now, if it's comfortable, stay in the position. Breathe here. This is also great for the knees, for those of you trying to strengthen around your knees. And release. Okay, so hopefully that's going a little bit into the multifidus, the deeper back muscles. We're going to take that up a notch. We're going to lift one leg at a time. So inhale, straighten the legs, and lift one leg up a little bit. Exhale, tuck the toes under, release the knees down. I'm just going to say that. My head turns so you can hear me better. Inhale, tuck the toes under, lift one leg, the other leg. Exhale, tuck the toes under and release the knees. I'm going to do that side to side. This is Ardha Shalabhasana. Going side to side. I'll cue it again if you didn't quite get it. Inhale, extend one leg. The other leg, the toes are tucked under and you're straightening that other knee. Exhale, tuck the toes under. Both legs are off the ground. The knees are off the ground. Exhale, release the knees down. Side to side. Taking one side of the lower back at a time. If you like, add both legs now. Inhale, extend, so straighten the legs, the knees are off the ground, so that's the beginning. And then untuck the toes and lift the legs up a little bit or a lot if you can. Exhale, tuck the toes under, release the knees. Inhale, lifting the thighs off, the knees off, and then lift the feet off. The legs come up a bit. Exhale, tuck the toes under, release the knees. Keep this going. You should be feeling a little bit of strength work in your lower back. You want to make it harder still, stay in the position. Try to keep your feet parallel. Shalabhasana, locust pose. A lot of crickets this time of year. Make yourself like a cricket. And when you're ready, release. That's also very strengthening for the glutes. You might notice that, buttocks muscles. So now we're going to do a pose where we're going to add our upper back. So moving into the full pose. So bring your arms down so your palms are at about shoulder height. They could be higher or lower. They could all, if this is not comfortable, you can also bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. That's sometimes a little bit easier for people. And you could have a cushion or an eye pillow under your forehead for neck health. You're going to inhale, lift your legs up and your chest up. I'm having my palms by my sides right now, and then I'm going to show them under my shoulders, and that allows you sometimes to lift a little higher. Exhale, release. If it's comfortable, you can turn your head to one side as you come down. Otherwise, keep your head neutral, up and down. Inhale, full Shalabhasana with the chest. Exhale, release. Having that pillow underneath the belly helps you lift a little higher. So if you can't lift, try that, like even a bed pillow. That's what physio is often used for this. That's where I first learned this modification. You'll find you can arch a lot more. Full Shalabhasana. Now, if you want to make it harder, you add the weight of the arms. So arms by your sides. We're going to do an Ardha version of this first. Inhale, bring your right leg up and your left hand to a salute at your forehead. Exhale, come down to resting position, hands down, and release the head. Other side. Inhale, left leg extends, right arm, hand comes to your forehead. Exhale, coming down. You can turn your head away from the arm as you exhale if you like. Doing that side to side. Opposite arm to leg, Ardha Shalabhasana. I'm still tucking my other toes under, the foot down, but you can just release the feet as well. I'll show that now. And this is the classical version. I'm just going to tuck the toes under as it helps us activate the lower back a bit more, usually the legs into the lower back. And if you want to take it up a notch, you can try both arms, both legs, or same arm as leg. And you can keep bringing those arms, the lever of the arms, higher towards a diamond, for example. Or straight arms. Find which one works for you. Today, the straight arm's not working for me very well. I'm just going to keep it my forehead today. So just see what works for you today. And then the next stage is staying in the pose, of course. And you can play when you stay. You can exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten. You can also bend and straighten the arms. Exhale, release. And imagine you're feeling your lower back. Coming back into child's pose. You can leave that pillow there if you have it as a cushion for the forehead. This pose doesn't work for you, lie on your back and hug your knees or put your feet on the wall. So I'll show this. I don't think I've done this term. So I'm just going to pretend this is a wall. I think it'll work okay. Yeah. And put your feet wide so they can rest. Some people, child's pose just really doesn't work. And just stretch the groin and the back in this position. Your feet at the wall, so you can just rest them. So big groin stretch. This is like wide child where you're bringing the knees apart. So I'm going to go back to that. And we're going to lie on our back now. So you should be quite warm after all that. And if you could have your belt nearby, you might get to that. That's the plan. And your pillow you can put aside. You can always also put a blanket or a pillow under your head for comfort. I'm going to work a little bit with the core strength. So we're working on the lower back and the core through the back. We're going to work with the pelvic floor to belly button, that part of the core, the transverse abdominis through pelvic floor. Mula Bandha, the root lock, Uddiyana Bandha, the stomach lock. So I don't think we've done this term yet. It's a new exercise I created a while ago, straightening the leg and Tadaka Mudra. So both legs straight. Bring the arms down by your sides. When you bring the arms up overhead, you might need a pillow behind to place your arms because it's too much for your shoulders. And exhale, release. So just start with that. Inhale, you can point your toes, you can interlock your fingers, palms stretch behind. And exhale, release, or stay in Tadaka Mudra to begin. This is the supine Samastiti. Classically flexing the feet in the full pose. And working on the core. pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, chest falls. Hold after exhale, feel the bandhas. Chin lock if you can as well. And release, inhale, upper back, middle back, lower back, full belly. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, stomach in and up. Hold after exhale. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. One last time. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Hold after exhale. And release the arms down, and then we're going to move it a little bit more into the core. Inhale, bringing both arms up. Exhale. You're going to bring both legs in, so you're going to drag the feet, the toes on the mat or the floor, and inhale, straighten the legs back out, arms overhead. So you might want to do this without a mat. It can be easier. I'll see if I can do it with my mat today. Just starting with this, from Tadaka Mudra to the beginning of Apanasana. We're going to take it further now. This time, you're going to bring your knees all the way in Apanasana into the chest as you exhale. Inhale, touch the toes down and extend the legs out. You can do this with one leg at a time to make it easier. I'm just going to show that. So this is less weight. You do it one leg at a time. This is wonderful for the lower back. Strengthening, also flexibility. It's also wonderful for the brain. Bilateral movement, rhythmic movement. Okay, next step, you can do this with one leg or both. Exhale, bringing toes along the floor, dragging the knees into the chest. That's your exhale. Inhale, extend the legs up, Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Can't straighten your legs, that's fine. Exhale, touching your toes down to the ground as you bring your hands down by your hips. Inhale, extend the legs out and bring your arms overhead to the floor behind you. Exhale, start to exhale, then start to move. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Bring the knees to the chest. Inhale, extending up. Think of breathing into the upper back, middle back, lower back, full belly expanding. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, bend the knees. Touch the toes to the ground. Belly button in and up. And inhale, extend. We'll keep this going. Again, you can do this one leg at a time or go back to the earlier movements, just dragging the legs in and out. So I created this spontaneously just in my own practice, I think about 3 months ago. And this is also wonderful for tracking of the knees. So it began actually as working with a knee tracking exercise. And then I realized it was a great core exercise when you really use the pelvic floor to draw the legs in. I'm sure my Pilates teacher friend who's here today, she'll tell me, oh, we do that in Pilates. Anyway. It is 3 poses in yoga. Tadaka Mudra, Apanasana, knees to chest, Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, legs to the sky. And if you think you've had enough, just take a rest. If you like, the legs can be straight. Notice your back prefers the legs straight, or does your lower back prefer a little bit of curve by bending the knees, feet wide, angle the knees in. So which one does your back prefer? Does it prefer to contract or round, or does it prefer to extend? In your life, does your back feel better when you're walking around or standing? It does. Standing desks are really wonderful. A new invention for people who have backs like that like to arch. Or do you prefer to sit, which is more like knees to chest, rounding? Ideally, you want to do both of those movements. You want to extend and you want to flex. And your back might like both, which is great. We're moving towards Shavasana. We're just going to do a little twist it out, bring the feet up, bend the knees. Exhale, coming to one side in windshield wiper pose. This one is wonderful for the back for many people, as well as the hips. We worked a lot on this movement last week in various ways, so if you know that this works for your lower back, once I get that video up, you'll be able to look at that. And you might notice if you have tighter thighs or hip flexors, this feels really good. You might decide to stay on one side and breathe or keep it moving, your choice. You might decide to prop up the knee on one side. You might want to add a blanket or a pillow under one side. If you want to stretch the thigh a bit more, I've talked to you about bringing the ankle a little bit closer to the buttocks, and I'm going to show the full version of that for those of you who want to, the Supta Virasana Ekapada. Again, be careful of this. You can have one hand under the opposite glute, get deeper into the thigh and the psoas, which can be really great for lower back as well. Be careful of knee issues for this. Not too much. And trying to lengthen your exhale. Every 2 breaths, can you add 1 second to your exhale until you get to about 80% of your capacity. And then hold at that length you get to. If you haven't switched sides, so just plain windshield wiper, bringing that outside heel closer to your buttocks or moving into the full pose. Virasana. Actually, a little bit of a different pose than the windshield wiper, but it can be an extension of it. Bring opposite arm up overhead. Breathing here. Lengthening your exhale every 2 seconds, adding 1 second. So every 2 breaths, adding 1 second to your exhale until you get to your 80% capacity. Coming out of the pose, Standing with the legs to the sky. Use your belt or just hold behind your thighs or your calves or hold your feet. Maybe bringing your feet towards your face as you exhale, inhale, bringing your legs away, swinging back and forth. It's like doing the standing forward bend we did, keeping the back neutral and just using the legs. When you're ready, finishing up. I'm just going to recommend ending with legs up the wall. So you've got a wall available. And you can tie your ankles, your thighs, the blanket on, or sweater, socks, anything you need to keep warm. And this is a wonderful way just to rest the back. Rest the mind. And also, if you like to add a bit more inversion, add a pillow, bolster underneath the buttocks. Now let, exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. I invite you to stay there a little longer. I'm just going to close the class in this position. Stay. longer.